Hello, everyone. This is the wrestling analyst. In the last few days, I've had some posts on X or Twitter that really shook me a little bit and made me think about doing this video. It's just that I see that a lot of people on X or Twitter are very impatient to see wrestlers that they love uh, or they like or whatever has immediate success and right now and right now and right now they should be doing this and they should be doing that and what I'm saying and this video is going to be talking about that and say and I named this video patience is a virtue. So here we go. Okay, so just for starters, in this video I'm going to be using the masculine form to simplify things, but what I'll be talking about applies to either men or women. So I just wanted to make this clear right now. So wrestling, I'm gonna call them super fans. They're always in a hurry to have their favorite get a world title, and they don't want their to be patient while their character is in development. That's the worst thing that can be done with a wrestler because you can't have well you can but some people will not like that. Some wrestling fans will not like that because uh, that would be felt like the promotion is jamming a wrestler down people's throat. Just remember The Rock before when he came in, it was Rocky Maivia, and what happened? WWE, Vince McMahon wanted to push him and push him and push him down the fans' throat. And like right now, I'm talking about let's say in the end of the '90s, the start of the 2000s, and people weren't buying it. They weren't buying Rocky Maivia, and you even saw signs "Die Rocky Die." So imagine how much people didn't want to have Rocky Maivia being pushed, and Rocky, he was good, but then when he became the Rock, when he became the corporate champion, and everything changed, and we know what the Rock became afterwards. But when they tried to jam it down our throat, another example of that is Roman Reigns. Remember when how much Vince wanted to push Roman, give him world title after world title after world title, and people were pissed, and they didn't want to have Roman Reigns on the main event scene. What happened? He came back after his leukemia, came back, and the bloodline storyline made him one of the best champions we've ever had. And look at him now. He's one of the most popular wrestlers, if not the most popular wrestler in WWE. So that's why I'm saying you need to be patient sometimes, and even a promotion needs to be patient with the superstars they see with a bright future. But well, like I was saying, the super fans, they are complaining about a superstar that is poorly booked. They're complaining about their superstar that they love being misused. And when there's a storyline going uh, for a wrestler and there's not a title involved, it can be a lot of things. But like I say, we need to be patient. And believe me, there are some wrestlers that I really love, I really like, and I feel the same way. They should be doing this, they should be doing that, and And when I think about it, I say, no, trust them, trust them. And so, like I say, when there's a storyline without a title involved, it can be a lot of things. First, character development. Best example I see with that is would be Drew McIntyre after he won the title at WrestleMania 40 and lost it immediately to CM Punk. What happened? I got screwed. I got screwed. I got screwed. And that's character development after. He went into a feud with Punk. He went into a feud with some other wrestlers. But you see where I'm going there. Then there could be putting over another wrestler that may not be to your liking, but sometimes when you get a world title, you lose. You put other people over to build them into maybe to bring them to the upper echelon, to a higher standard yourself. And believe me, this usually comes back around the other way. The wrestler that you put over is going to put you over later on. And it's building the credibility of the wrestler by beating someone that was a world champion. Sometimes you see a wrestler that they're building up and they're beating a former world champion, another former world champion, another former world champion. So it's all a process. You need to build the wrestler. When you want to push one, you need to be the promotion. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, especially WWE. Usually, they know what they're doing. I know when, and sometimes I get pissed myself when I see, oh man, what are they doing? And that's the thing. They have plan. I, I used to book myself for two different promotions while I was wrestling, and I know sometimes wrestlers would come and see, uh, what's your plan with me? Or I would I would say a little bits, maybe one or two next matches or so, what my idea was, but I would never reveal the whole thing because I knew where I was going. Like when I was booking for SWR, uh, we were doing our closing, our story, our biggest show of the year. We were doing it at the beginning of June, and the main event of that show was always the world, or it was called the SWR International title. But when we were doing that show, the main event of the show the next year in June was already in my head. That's how long sometimes I was planning my storylines. Maybe not for all the wrestlers, but for the main storyline, for the main title, and I had a big idea for the tag team title as well. What I wanted to do for the whole year. So that's how long sometimes the promotions plan ahead. Now, maybe I was for small promotion here in Quebec. Maybe I was a little bit of a freak planning 1 year in advance, but that's how I was working. Now, don't forget, there's only one spot for a world title per brand. So not everyone can be champion at the same time. If you want a title to mean something, it cannot change hand every week or every 2 week or every month. If you want to have the world title meaning something, being have credibility, having prestige, it's not like that 24/7 belt or hardcore title or whatever that could change hands three, four, five times during the same night. That was more of a joke than anything. It was not a serious title. So that's the thing. World title have to mean something because that's what every brand revolves around. Of course, there's other minor storylines because you cannot have only one storyline per brand. You have to have multiple storylines involving multiple wrestlers to build them and everything. The title changes must mean something, unless it's a transitional champion, like when we saw the Iron when back in '83 when the Iron Sheik beat Bob Backlund, and then a couple of days later, Hulk Hogan beat the Iron Sheik at Madison Square Garden to win his first WWE World Heavyweight Championship. That's a transitional champion because Vince took over the company from his father and he wanted to have Hulk Hogan as a champion. So instead of having face versus face, which was a no no back then, he decided to have the Iron Sheik winning against Bob Backlund and then having Hulk Hogan taking the title from the Iron Sheik. Don't forget, okay, so the world title, not every wrestler has what it takes to be a main eventer. Uh, let's say uh, right now, one example of that in WWE would maybe be Axiom or Nathan Fraser. Right now, they don't have what it takes to be a main eventer. Uh, I don't say it can't be, but or one example, let's say in Wyatt Six, Eric Rowan, he will never be world heavyweight championship material. Never. You may like him, I don't know, but Eric Rowan will never be a world champion in WWE. He just doesn't have what it takes. He doesn't have the it factor, let's say. Sometimes it happens. It did happen to me. Uh, a promotion just don't believe in a wrestler enough to give him a chance to be in the main event or to win a world or their biggest or their world title. And sometimes another promotion will give that guy a chance to win a world title. One of the first federations I wrestled here never gave me the chance to be their champion, and I retired without winning the big one, the big title on this promotion. And the wrestling bug came back the next year and bit me again. One of my friends invited me to one of his shows, and he said, "Oh, I need somebody just for one show. Can you come and help me? I'm missing a wrestler." And I said, "Okay." And that's when the bug, the wrestling bug, bit me again, and I came back for another 5 years. And the two federations that I came back to, they gave me their world or their, I should say, their main title. Uh, One was a world title, which I find it ridiculous since we're just a small federation with Quebec wrestlers. But a lot of promotions like to have a world championship or an international championship uh, to have, let's say, a fake prestige on the belt. It's their choice. I respect that, and it's all good. But sometimes, like I was saying, where I was going with this is that sometimes a promotion will give somebody a chance that the other promotion before didn't give him. One example of that very recently, in fact, last Sunday, would be Dana Brooke. She never won a big title at WWE. I don't think she even had a championship match in WWE. And then again, last Sunday, she won the TNA Knockouts Championship as Ash by Elegance. Elegance. So I don't say it's a great decision. Uh, Dana is not a bad wrestler, or Ash is not a bad wrestler. And with the right storyline, a any wrestler, and we've seen some wrestlers that were not that good having world title. Uh, I talked about one earlier, which was not a big or great technical wrestler, but he won. He was one of he is one of the greatest wrestling icon in the world, and it's no. I'm not saying that out of disrespect for Hulk Hogan. I never found him to be a very good technical wrestler, but he had charisma. He knew how to put on promos, and he had it. Even though he was not the best technical wrestler around, he had it, and he was a superstar. So God rest his soul. Rest in peace, Hawk. Like I said, nothing but respect for you, man. Now, you almost can't have a wrestler coming in a promotion and winning a world title right away. Of course, there's exceptions for that. To that, um, best example I can give is Finn Balor when he got called up from NXT. They gave him the Universal title right away, and unfortunately, he had to relinquish the belt the next day because of a shoulder injury. But usually, it's very rare that you see a wrestler coming in and get a title shot and winning the big title right away, unless it's a very big superstar, uh, very well known around the world and everything. Uh, but usually, it never happens. A wrestler has to be built into a title contender, and that process can take years, not months. It could take years, unless they want to fast track uh, um, the character development. It's a bit easier now to do with all the NXT call ups because the WWE universe, they already know a lot of those wrestlers. One recent example with that would be Braun Breaker. He won his first title almost right away against Sami Zayn, the Intercontinental title, and he lost it at WrestleMania after. But you see what I was and what's happening with Braun right now. He's not in any title picture. He's in the vision being built into a main eventer eventually, because eventually what's going to happen with this, uh, with that kind of faction or stable or whatever you want to call it, is to build future superstars. Remember the Four Horsemen. You had Ric Flair, which was always in the world title picture. You had Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard that were the tag team guys, and you had the fourth guy. The fourth guy, why was he there? He was the one being built into a superstar to be a future main eventer and to challenge Ric Flair for his title when he was turning face. Examples of that: Lex Luger, uh, and Lex Luger was one example. I think Barry Windham was one example of that as well. But you see, it's the same thing with the Vision with Seth Rollins right now, with Paul Heyman as manager. I'm always saying they're missing one guy, and I said that in one of my other videos. When he's ready to come back with from injury, that fourth guy is going to be Austin Theory. But that faction is there to build up Braun Breaker into a main eventer when he turns face and will face Seth Rollins for the title if he's still champion by then. So usually the road to build a main eventer or title contender would be when he arrives, few matches to help building him, get some wins and everything. Then one, two, three, four, maybe significant feuds where he goes over them. Then he gets a first title opportunity, either a world title or a secondary title, where he will usually come up short. A couple of more feuds to build him up again. And then he gets another title opportunity, either Intercontinental or US, and then he wins it. So that's usually the road that is followed for building a contender, a title contender, or a main eventer. Now, I know that sometimes when you love a wrestler, and believe me, like I said earlier, I do love some wrestlers myself and feel like some are very badly booked. You want that wrestler to win every match, it's impossible. And just a couple of years ago, I'm going to give you a good example of how much uh, there's one Japanese lady that I find she is very poorly booked. I love what they're doing with her right now. They're preparing a heel turn, and it's Asuka. I love Asuka very much as a wrestler, and I feel that she was never used to her full potential on the main roster. Her run in NXT was second to none. She was like 900 days unbeaten, 500 straight days as champion, over 500 days. And when she came in WWE, when she lost to Charlotte Flair at her first WrestleMania, I was pissed. And a couple of years ago, when she came back at the Rumble with the new makeup and everything, I said, "Oh my God, they're preparing to push her to the moon." And when she lost to Bianca Belair, go back to that video I did for the WrestleMania result that year, and you're going to see how much I was pissed that they made Asuka lose to Bianca Belair on WrestleMania, because I was saying at that time that the character change of Asuka was just wasted. Of course, she won the title later on at Crown Jewel, but I still feel that like that character change was wasted when Asuka lost to to Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. I think it was 39 or 40. No, it was WrestleMania 39. Uh, yeah, that's it. 2 years ago. And now what they're doing right now with her heel turn, I know they're fast tracking it because of Naomi's pregnancy. So they're fast tracking Asuka's heel turn, and I still hope that they will give her a run, a little bit like NXT, a long title run, like she had when she took the belt. When um Becky Lynch got pregnant, and she won the belt at Money in the Bank without knowing it was for the belt. Then she had a good run, and right now the women on the Raw brand, the roster is so stacked compared to SmackDown that any lady there can win the title, or almost any lady can win the title. So anyway, I digress right now. So what I'm saying and what I've been saying is like, be patient. Patience is a virtue, and um, it's the same thing in NXT. I see a lot of buzz right now around Lash Legend. Lash Legend is going to be a superstar, but give her time. A lot of people are talking about Soul Ruka. I love Soul Ruka. I love her Soul Snatcher. It's one of the best finishing move I've ever seen, if not the best. But she's only been wrestling for 2 years. Give her time. Give her time. She Before going up on the main roster, she needs to win the NXT Championship. Lash Legend, she hasn't won a title yet, so give her time. Uh, Kalani Jordan, another one that's very good. Give her time. Uh, I think Jordan Grace right now in NXT, her time is almost done. She hasn't won any title, but she doesn't need that. She's gonna go up maybe on SmackDown and challenge Tiffany Stratton. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. But I'll end on this. Patience is a virtue, and sometimes I'm a super fan myself, and when I reflect afterwards, I say, no, it's good. It's They're doing good. They're doing good things. We can't rush somebody into superstardom because people are going to turn on them. People won't like your decision. Won't like if you push them. If you push a wrestler down somebody's throat, the fans' throat, they won't accept it. You need to go slowly and surely. Just before I go, one last example I want to give you because it just popped in my head right now. Dominic Mysterio. Dom, right now, when he turned on his father, a lot of people were like, "Oh my God!" And he became a freaking heel right now, and he's one of the most hated wrestlers right now in WWE. They continue to build him as a heel and have him being even more and more and more hated. What's going to happen a couple of years from now? Maximum 2 3 years, 2 to 3 years, if it goes that far. Dominic Mysterio, and mark my words, tag this video if you want, but mark my words, Dominic Mysterio in 2 or 3 years, when he turns babyface, he will be one of the most beloved superstars, one of the most beloved babyface in WWE. Bookmark this video if you want, but I'm telling you, the day Dominic turns face, he's going to be a freaking superstar. He's going to be one of the most beloved fan favorites in WWE. So there you have it. I'm just going to end with this. Patience is a virtue. So see you around until my next video, and hope you like this. If, like I said, if you have any comments, feel free to comment in the comments section. If you have any questions, just write to my email. My email address is going to appear at the end here. So see you soon, and have a great day.